have the lights. Let's go ahead and plug up my phone. It's always good just to have this charging, just in case. Oh. And then we can pop on the light up top. Waiting for a few people to come on in. There we go. And then that light on. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I really need to actually announce these things sooner than I do. It's just I don't normally plan to do the live streams. It really is just whenever things happen. Hey, Robo Warrior, how's it going? Flame Lord, hello, hello. Got a couple of people coming in. So tonight is very much just a chill. I was not planning on doing a live stream today. I can't complain. Hey, Jay Reed, hello, Duck Boy. So like I was saying, I wasn't planning on doing a live stream. It's very much just I wrapped up a video early, and I didn't want to go straight. I do have fire and ice. Yeah, they're at the bottom of the big pile. So that's the thing, is we need to start working on the Great Wall of DC figures. And actually, free up my desk again. Because eventually I want to start doing reviews, but I can't right now because I have nowhere else to put all these DC things. But like I was saying, I'm just doing this for the sake of doing something tonight, because I don't want to go straight into the next video. I've done 3 Mini Toys Of episodes back to back. I just wanted to do something different tonight. Still feel like I was being productive, but maybe not having to be buried in the guts of Premiere Pro. So let's go ahead and start. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to go straight into the McFarlane things, or do I want to open some of the not McFarlane things? Oh yeah, no, Jay Reed. There's so many good McFarlane DC figures, especially these past 2 years. It kind of sucks because it feels like they're only now cracking the code on how to make some of these characters, and their character selection's becoming really good right here at the end. But, at the same time, they're not done with DC. They're going to still be doing the Superpowers line, which is great because I love my Superpowers guys. Let's just open this up first. This is Animal Man. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Animal Man. He had a really good Grant Morrison run. And also, Jerry Conway had a good run with Animal Man. He is a very meta superhero, but unlike, say, She-Hulk or Deadpool, where it's just jokey joke, Animal Man gets existential and weird. I really like Animal Man a lot more than I like most meta superheroes. Dude. There we go. Yeah, I saw someone mention that McFarlane, when they did Doom, they only ever did Doomslayer, none of the demons. That's the problem with McFarlane, is their character selection is garbage. This is a line I love, the McFarlane Superpowers. But look at this, they did 64 of the original run. We're getting a new wave, and that's going to kickstart a new line. McFarlane's going to keep making these guys. They're going to be exclusive to Entertainment Earth. But 64, plus 2 exclusive 3-packs, so let's say 70. Let's be really kind and say there are 70 figures released in this toy line. If that's the case, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 4, oh, that's Bizarro. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ultraman is another Superman, so 19. Actually, no, I don't have to do that. 18. So out of a 70-figure toy line, 18 of them were Batman and Superman. Oh, I missed this one. 19. 19. So if it's a collection of 70, that means 20. 20 of them. Hey, Taz, how's it going? And McFarlane always does this thing where they're like, oh, well, Batman and Superman sell. Not that many. Everywhere I went, they were always shelf warming because there were too many Batman and Superman. You could get any costume, major costume of Superman or Batman ever. We have the solar suit for Superman. We have we have the movie Superman, of course. We have not Bizarro, but like Golden Age Superman, New 52 Superman. It's even worse for Batman, because Batman you have like Batmanga, Zorinar, a Golden Batman for some reason, 89 Batman. Like, that's what kills a toy line, is people would go out and they're trying to get like Adam or Lobo or Wonder Woman, but they couldn't find them because the stores only kept Batman and Superman. I do watch Chris McFeely. Not much anymore, just because with how many Transformers videos I make, I don't want a lot of other people, just because I'm paranoid I'm gonna steal ideas from them. But I like Chris McFeely. Great voice. Wonderful voice Chris McFeely has. Also, I'm sorry that, like, Animal Man's spotlight just immediately got overtaken with me complaining. Nice figure. It's gonna look great on my superpower shelf. I really like this. I want to get Deadman from this wave. I'd get Cyborg too. I want the entire last wave because classic Nightwing also looked really good. But yeah. Oop. Hey, Rumbler, how's it going? And hey, Vinny. Very, very, very zeered. There we go. So for anyone who doesn't know the articulation of these guys, it's head, shoulders, hip, knee. And they are very much made... Oop. How's it going, to make spaghetti? Yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it. But yeah, I love these guys. My favorite collection right now very well might be my Kenner DC guys. Just very nice looking. Clockwork Gears, I really don't think we're going to get Wing Saber or Leo Breaker. I think if we're getting Energon guys, we're probably going to get, if anyone, we'll get Megatron and maybe Bumblebee. Or Bumblebee, maybe Hotshot. I really don't think they do Energon Optimus. They probably would do Cybertron Optimus and maybe Cybertron Megatron. But I feel like when you get to like Leo Breaker, that's when they become a little bit too B-list. Robo Warrior, I always say this to people, don't keep a collection if you're just keeping it for arbitrary reasons. If you think you'd be happier doing Lego, go with that. But if you're like in a period of time where you're trying to figure out are you okay with selling stuff, what I always tell people is if you're, oh hey, weaponized toy car. What I always tell people is if you don't know for sure if you want to sell something, take everything you might want to sell, put it in a tote, and put that tote in a closet somewhere where you can't find it. And then wait a week or two. And if in a week or two you're not missing any of those toys, you don't really care about it, then you can sell them. But if during that week you're like, man, I really wish this toy was still out here, then clearly that's a toy you still like having around. I tell that to people all the time, and that's a way to avoid... Oop. Ah, Flame Lord, that's so cute. My cat Sienna does that to me a lot, where they just curl up on my chest or my stomach. Another thing that Sienna really likes, whenever I'm like sleeping on my stomach or on my side, she'll curl up on the inside of my knees. Like, on the backs of my knees. Man. So, I was just talking about toys that I regret selling. I actually have just rebought a couple that I regret selling. I'm going to move you to the side, Animal Man. Oh no. Oh no. Stand up. Animal Man's alive. So, I did not intend to sell these. What happened is I think they probably went to the wrong box and I wound up selling them by accident. But I really regretted selling my Multiverse Penguin and Catwoman from The Batman. I love the Penguin TV show. I loved this Catwoman. So I need to get these back. I needed to get them back. The issue was I didn't want to spend more than $15 on them because I knew for a fact I could get them cheaper, and I did. Eventually I got both of them together for $10. So I'm not complaining. The boxes are very dusty because very clearly the comic shop that I bought these from, they've had them for a while. But let's go ahead and get them out of the box. By the way, if anyone's just looking for a good TV show to watch, The Penguin Show was a ton of fun. It's one season. It's like 6 episodes. It's a very doable watch, but it's great. There we go. Oh, So, oop. Hey, Mon Makes. I've not messed with any of the Motu Chronicles toys, and I probably won't because I'm not going to go see that movie. If you could make your own adaptation of The Boy, what would it be? What do you mean, anonymous guy? Who's the boy? Are you talking about Penguin? And then I saw someone mention Colin Farrell. I thought Colin Farrell did a great job as Penguin. That said, I find it really funny that instead of just casting a fat guy actor, they're like, Colin Farrell, we're going to put you in 12 hours of makeup. Fat guy eraser. Oh, if I were to do my own adaptation of The Boys. Well, that's the thing is, I don't feel like I'm the person you should bring in to do The Boys, because I don't like The Boys. The show's better than the comic. I still wouldn't just sit down to watch it. It's not my kind of show. If I were to do my version of The Boys, it would literally be like I am out of spite trying to tear down this entire show. Okay, now I say that. You know what I would do? I would go with the idea that the boys are supposed to be collecting blackmail, which was the original idea from the comic that just immediately went out the window. But I would focus on that. Like, the boys are never going to be fighting the Seven. There's never going to be a big fight scene between Billy Butcher and Homelander. But it's going to be a lot more like Homelander is such a slave to his own image and his own PR that's the thrust of the show. It's like Homelander becomes incapacitated because he needs to keep good PR. So it's going to be a little bit more of like a spy thriller show. So that's my idea. Oh no, we're not doing any Sonic stuff right now, Scott. Here, I saw a few comments come in. The Boys is a show you can chat about on the internet, but you don't want the folks at the office to know you watch it. Kinda. Here. Well, that's the thing is, I fundamentally disagree with the onus of The Boys. And, like, no offense to Garth Ennis, but if you were to look at my personal comic collection, you're not going to find many books that bear the name Garth Ennis. I remember when I was, like, young, like 12. Oh. 1 sec. Here we go. But when I was like 12, there was like a big thing online that was basically like, who do you like more between Grant Morrison and Garth Ennis? I have no idea if there's like beef between those two, but that was just a thing. And Flame Lord, you are completely right about that. Trans rights are human rights. There is no discussion to be had about that. But I prefer a writer like Grant Morrison a lot more than Garth Ennis. And I feel like Grant Morrison has moved me more than Garth Ennis has. Because at Garth Ennis' core, the writing only works because of shock value and trying to make you despise the different and the strange. And then with Grant Morrison, it's a lot more an exploration as to like what makes life work. My opinions on Spawn. So Mon Makes, I've never really read the Spawn comics. I like the HBO cartoon, and from what I understand, that cartoon ends at the point where the comic book should have ended. But if it's just the HBO cartoon, I liked it. You know, it's definitely like kind of edgy for the sake of edgy, but I think Spawn wears it better than The Boys because it still remembers that you're supposed to have fun with these characters, and Spawn is a more I think Spawn is a more engaging and likable protagonist than Billy Butcher is. And I saw someone ask me, how do I think about Invincible? I very much enjoy Invincible. I think Invincible, to me, is doing the thing the boys wanted to do and doing it better. Because they're both deconstructions of superheroes and the genre. But Invincible gives you a reason to care, gives you characters that you enjoy and you root for and feel tragic when they are hurt or killed. The antagonists are interesting and layered, while also like keeping in mind that we're talking about superheroes. We're talking about something inherently goofy. So they they embrace the goofiness while also doing stuff with the setting. So I very much like Invincible. I've only really ever gone into the show because I read a lot of Invincible as a teenager, but it was always like I'll pick up a copy of Invincible if the comic book shop has nothing else I'm interested in. So I was not a diehard fan of Invincible. But I appreciate what Robert Kirkman did with Invincible a lot more than what Garth Ennis did with The Boys. Everyone tells me Sam and Twitch is a good read. I've never gone into it. Like, that's the thing is, every so often I'm like, I do try to get into Spawn, and it just, I don't know if I just keep trying it at bad times or what. It bounces off me every time. Every time. But of course, I got my own bias. You know, I think a lot of people who know me personally would tell you I have a big DC bias, and I don't try to hide from that. But yeah, all my favorite superheroes and supervillains are from DC. All my favorite stories are from DC. Most of my favorite writers got big in DC. I do. I love my DC side of comics very, very, very much, and I have to acknowledge that I'm not as aware of other companies, even though I should be. I should be more aware of what's going on in the world of comics. Looking at Colin Farrell Penguin, I got this because I like the character. The toy's kind of bad though, like the head sculpt. Like it doesn't even look like him. The other thing is like Colin Farrell Penguin has such cool scars, but the paint job lets this guy down so bad. Turn a light off. That does not help. Okay. And then like the body. His knees are so low down that you don't get much articulation. He doesn't come with any accessories, because this was at a time where DC wouldn't let the characters come with guns. And then, you know, McFarlane basically said, like, oh, well, we were going to give him a gun. That's why he has a trigger finger. But, you know, you can't do guns. To which I then say, okay, well, give him a different accessory. Give him a crowbar or something. Like, I don't know. For $10, this figure's awesome. For $5, this figure's really awesome. But when I first bought it all those years ago for $20, I remember saying that this was a really disappointing toy for me. And yet I rebought it because I like Colin Farrell Penguin. Oh, J.K. Simmons as Grimlock would be so good. That would be great. He looks like if Adam Sandler became a mobster. I can kind of see it. That's crazy. So, Flame Lord, it gets into a lot of, like, kind of controversial water. It was a thing where DC basically said no toys of our characters can come with guns. And they've relaxed that in recent years. Like, now we're getting a bunch of Jokers and Harley Quinns with guns. But from about 2019 up until 2000, like, maybe 22 or 23, there were no guns with the toys. And it was basically like, hey, toys are ultimately for children. These are going to be things that you find on store shelves. We don't want to glamorize guns. Like, that was their reasoning. And is that right? Is that wrong? I'm not wading into that. Personally, I can see an argument for both sides. But I do think that if you're going to make toys that had guns, and then you had to take the gun away, you should put a different accessory in the box. Because the fact that this penguin didn't come with any accessories, and he has 2 trigger hands, that's a problem. Like, that is actively, you are harming the consumer, I think. So he should have come with a crowbar, or an umbrella, or anything. Like, so many of these toys came with crowbars. Why can't he come with a crowbar? And then meanwhile, Catwoman at least got her whip, which is great. But that was a thing for a little bit. And it's weird, because, like, they must have lessened that recently, because I just saw so many Deadshots and Deathstrokes and Jokers that all come with guns. Between Shockwave, Am, Kane, and Ultron, who would win in a fight? Anonymous, I kind of think Ultron has to win that fight, because Ultron is supposed to be a heavy hitter against the Avengers. Everyone else is just, like, not on that level. Shockwave could probably outthink Ultron, but all Ultron has to do is, like, touch Shockwave, and then he could spread the Ultron virus to Shockwave, potentially. Then again, the Cybertronians aren't computers. They have essentially souls. They're energy beings cased in a metal shell because the spark is pure energy. Mon makes, I don't know who Eric Larson is, I don't think. I might know their work, I just don't know their name. I think Ultron still beats Shockwave, but Shockwave puts up a better fight than Kane or Am. Especially because Kane is just a ghost in the machine. Kane doesn't have a physical body. The Savage Dragon. I know that's from Image Comics. I don't know anything about Savage Dragon. No, I know this. They had a crossover with Howard the Duck. I know that. Okay, so an image artist. Here's the thing. I'm willing to bet that I would recognize their work if I looked at it. I'm just not familiar with the name. So the reason I wanted this Catwoman specifically, there's 3 versions of this toy. There's an unmasked, there was the first masked, and then they did a gold label because they messed up Catwoman's mask. This is the toy that has the mask she had in the movie that only covered up her nose. And I really like this design for Catwoman. So I saw someone ask, how do I feel about SS86 Shockwave? I am fine with it. I love Seed Shockwave. Seed Shockwave is also several years old now, and we've never gotten cartoon Shockwave from that toy. We've gotten a dark purple with the dramatic capture. We got Marvel with the Marvel release. We had Siege, which was like a marriage of the Marvel and the cartoon. So I think Studio Series 86 Shockwave I'm completely fine with because they're going for that brighter kind of lilac purple with Shockwave, and they're changing the proportions. And most importantly, Shockwave hasn't been at mass retail in like 7 years. Like even if there was the dramatic capture and the Marvel Shockwave, those were both online. Those were both exclusives. I think a lot of people, when they're more in collecting, they don't seem to realize there is a world of difference between the last toy this character had and the last toy at mass retail. Not everyone can go online and get dramatic capture. Not everyone can go online and get Marvel Shockwave. Whereas if this toy is going to go to every Walmart and Target in the country, that's more accessible. So yeah, I think absolutely that's completely fine because it's been 7 years since we last had a mass retail Shockwave. At least in the Generations line. Oh, really? The proportions are the same? I'm going to stand by this. I still think that's okay because it's been so long. It's been so long since I missed you. I've been chilling with my nephew. Oh, man. How does that go? Like the second version of the Aqua Teen theme song. It's been so long since I missed you. I've been chilling with my nephew. Not been. No. I went to prison with my nephew. Yeah. Damn it. I wish I remembered. Like, obviously, the first Aqua Teen Hunger Force theme song, I know that, like, instant. But they only used that second version for, like, 2 episodes. It was the episode where they moved into the new house, and then Master Shake and Meatwad argue over who gets the bathroom to live in, and then Meatwad gets like the massive mansion room. It's Rabot Returns. It's Rabot Returns has that as the theme song. But yeah, because like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, it's oh shit. Do I know that theme song off the top of my head? Okay, so Eric Larson was like the right beneath Todd McFarlane on the pecking order. I get that. That would be so funny. Doing the McDonald's changeables into Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Hell yeah. I mean, they did fries, so you could do Frylock. They did multiple milkshakes, so you could do Master Shake. Who could you use for Meatwad? Because there was no, they didn't do like a chicken nugget. They did a chicken nugget box. Oh, hey, Bumbulus. Okay, no, now I'm stuck on this. I need to, do I actually know the Aqua Teen Hunger Force theme song? It's, my name is Shake Zula, the man. Ah, damn it, I don't know it. The old schooler, you want a drink, I give it to you. Frylock and he's on top. Ah, damn it, I don't know it. I've heard that song like every week for like 30 years, and yet I don't know it offhand. Holy shit. I mean, I guess you hear something long enough, you just stop paying attention to it, right? Okay, we got Catwoman out of the thing. Not a great toy. The first 2 years of McFarlane, the toys were super rough. Like, that's the thing, is like they got good eventually, but I know so many people who won't give McFarlane a chance just because those first couple years were iffy. Even still, I really like this Catwoman. I like the performance, I like the design. I would like it even more if this toy could stand up. That'd be great. That's the thing, Brotaku. I like this mask for Catwoman. I think like if you're doing like a more quote unquote realistic Batman, this looks decent because it's not actually a cat. Like she's not trying to look like a cat. This is just how it bunches up, and yet it looks like a proper cat. So like it's a good reinvention for what they're going for. I think. There we go. She has her whip. I hate this. I wish the whip was like maybe more like a string, or at the very least, like could be posed somewhat. There we go. All right, who are we going to next? It is so hot in this room. My God. Oh yeah, they did do Warhammer toys. I forgot about that. Oh, well, thank you, Total Creeps. I'm glad you like it. Ooh. All right. Let's like open more of these randos that I have on top of the other figures. So, I have a delicious can of Snart. I've never gotten any of these Funko soda things before, but I saw they did one at Captain Cold, and it was on sale. And then when I got it, I realized this is an actual aluminum can, and I kind of want to keep it in the box, but I also want the little Captain Cold. So I might. I don't even know if I'm gonna open this. Damn it! I was actually like thinking I had talked myself into opening it, but no, I think I like this. I just like having a soda can that has weight in it. That has Captain Cold. Yeah, alright. Captain Cold stays in the can. That said, it's Penguin's night. So this, who made you? Was this Kenner? This is Kenner. So Kenner, for Batman Returns, did a penguin. And you'll notice it is almost a repaint of the Superpowers Penguin, which is one of my favorite toys of all time. I love Superpowers Penguin. That said, Batman Returns Penguin does not look like Superpowers Penguin. One sec. Let me, where are you, you little bastard? Penguin's in here somewhere. There he is. He's at the bottom of this stack. Okay. Can I do this? Okay, I'm not gonna pull it out anymore. I'm going to. What are we gonna do? We're gonna take the tripod like this. So that's what Dan DeVito looked like as the penguin. We're gonna look at him later, and this is the toy they made. Keep in mind, Batman and Michelle Pfeiffer got new molds to be more accurate, but they didn't do it to Penguin. To be fair, I love Penguin. Penguin is one of my favorite DC villains ever. One of my favorite villains ever. One of my favorite characters ever. There is not a single goddamn kid who has ever lived who has said, I want to dress up as the Penguin for Halloween. I can understand why they didn't feel like doing a new toy for Penguin. And so I like this too. Like, look at his little lapel. He has an umbrella. Here. Ah. I saw someone ask about Emperor Kumquat. I'm actually not familiar with them. I've never watched any of their stuff. I'm sure they're cool. I don't know anything about them. I love this mold so much. I have almost every version of it now. But yeah. Really, did McDonald's not do Happy Meals because of how violent Batman Returns was? To be fair, that's why Tim Burton lost the job for Batman 3, is because of the blowback. Hey, 8 Don't Ask, how's it going? The one thing they changed about this penguin is he didn't come with the Kenner Superpowers umbrella. He instead came with this very goofy looking thing. Let me figure out how it works. Okay, so it has to go in like this. It does. And then the actual umbrella goes up here. Yep. So he comes with a missile launcher that you can also plug into his back, and then he can fly away. And the crazy thing is, this is kind of something that happened in the movie, because there's a part where Penguin is like at City Hall, and he whips up the umbrella, and he like stands on it like this, and the umbrella flies him away. So this actually isn't something they made for the toy. It's just a really bad interpretation of something that happened in the movie. But yeah, I love it. It's the only way to get this mold of Penguin in normal Penguin colors, because every other version gave him like that blue. Love this toy. It's great. Look at his gigantic ass. Look at that. Oi. Penguin, penguin. Penguin, penguin. I like penguin. Alright, you go and stand next to Animal Man. Alright. There's only one other figure here that's not technically multiverse. It is. It's just... I'm pretty sure this is a friggin' tax write-off. DC Direct also still exists, but they just do more, like, multiverse guys. I did not get Hal Jordan, because Hal Jordan is, like, a character I actively despise. But I was tempted because the sculpting on him was so good. But then I found out that the chase for Hal Jordan was Jessica Cruz. And I love Jessica Cruz. So now I got Jessica Cruz. And you can look on the back. It comes with an issue where I guess Hal Jordan arrests Jessica Cruz. I don't know. I didn't read this. I hate Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, the way that other people talk about Superman and call him like a Boy Scout and boring and he kind of sucks, that's actually Hal Jordan. Like, Hal Jordan sucks. I don't like him at all. Oh, this is Animal Man, Scott Duncan. He does look a little bit like Booster Gold, you're right. No, but he's really cool, Animal Man. He was a character who was aware of the fact that he was in a comic book, but unlike Deadpool, that really fucked him up. Like, there are so many stories that's literally just, oh, wow. Chris Cox? I was just about to go to sleep, but I saw this, so I'm going to say hello. How's it going? Where's that Stephanie Brown video? What would I do for a Stephanie Brown video? I don't know. I could do a mini toys of, but I think Stephanie's only had, like, 2 or 3 toys. I don't think she's had many. Okay, the other thing I hate about these DC Directs is that they're a nightmare to fucking open. Oh, Scott, you're talking about Hal. Yeah, no, I don't like Hal at all. I don't know why, but when I saw the word genocide, my first thought was, is Scott going into like some real world stuff right now? Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of Hal. Here. How can I get into this? I'm just gonna poke through. That's all I can do. Oh, shit, yeah. Like, there's not a good way to go about it. Maybe if I start up here and just cut through. Like, that's the thing, is I don't know much about Green Lantern stuff entirely because I hate Hal. Like, Hal's existence means that I have not learned more about characters I do like John and Guy and Kyle and Jessica. And Sinestro, I like Sinestro. And Kilowog, I like Kilowog. Ganthet, I like Ganthet. I like every character in the series except the fucking main character. I hate Hal. There we go. I got in. There's the comic. Hal Jordan's doing some shit. There we go. Des Stitches, I think Xavier Renegade Angel is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. I really like Xavier. I like showing people random Xavier shit. It is not a show to binge. If you binge it, you're gonna end up hating it. But like just watching an episode every now and again, it's great. Anonymous guy, I have never seen Bleach, and I don't have any interest in watching Bleach. Alan Scott is so much cooler. I agree with you, Scott Duncan. And you know what? That new Green Lantern show, I am interested in. Even though I don't like Hal Jordan, I'm gonna give that show a shot because one, I think it looks like a cool concept, and two, it has John, and that's all I need. Is I need John or Guy or literally any other Lantern. I like every Lantern except for Hal. You want to know what's wild? Every time I say that I hate Hal Jordan and talk about why I hate Hal Jordan, I never get any blowback. Like, I have never heard a single person get upset with me because I talk about hating Hal Jordan. Any other character, if I said I hate this character, there's someone out there who'd be like, oh, well, I like this character. But never Hal. One of the most important comic book characters of all time, and he has no fans. Even people who like Hal admit that the other Lanterns are better. Like, it's a pity, like. There's Jessica Cruz, by the way. So the one thing I don't like about Jessica is her not her tattoo, but the marking on her eye. It's not clearly defined. It looks like she just has like a random green light that's supposed to be the Green Lantern logo. That's my one complaint. Otherwise, like, the proportions are very thin, and she has a hard time standing up because they gave her the heels. But those are like, the heels are accurate. The proportions, that's just McFarlane. These accessories are kind of weird. Is that supposed to go on the arm? What the fuck is this supposed to do? Is that supposed to go on the leg? Like a flight thing? I have no idea. So that one's obviously supposed to go on the fist. Like that one I can figure out. That looks decent. Like she's... so what does this do? Like it's too wide to go on the arm. It's too narrow unless you're supposed to put it like down here on the feet, like she's flying. I have no idea what this piece is supposed to be. That's weird. Also, the DC Direct guys are more expensive than Multiverse. Like Multiverse guys are like 24. These guys are 30. It's weird. It's very weird. There is like, I really like the DC Direct Barry and Jay Garrick. Those are my favorite DC Direct guys, even though they're too expensive. Jessica was also too expensive, but I got her on sale, so it's okay. But I don't like her anywhere near as much as I liked Barry or Jay. All right. Now we're going to go into someone who's perhaps a little bit more recognizable. Boom! So I have Golden Age Batman and Riddler, and they hang out with my Superpowers Penguin. And that made me want to get like a few more like classic Silver Age Batman characters just to have like a complete collection of them. So I got the digital Nightwing, I got this classic Batgirl, I got the chase of the new Joker, and then I got Golden Age Kite Man. And they're going to be like my Silver Age kind of Adam West era Bat family. Jesus, Scott. Going straight for that, huh? Brutaku, I am convinced that they would have made a dog welder eventually, because clearly McFarlane doesn't have taste. The fact that he made, what's his name? Is it Billy Kincaid? The fact that Tom McFarlane made Billy Kincaid proves that he has no taste. But, you know, I think dog welder just, they canceled the line before they got to him. He was already prototyped and ready to go, I'm sure. There we go. So, Millie, this is not first appearance Batgirl. First appearance Batgirl is more purple, and she came with a purse. But I like this because it is very much a Silver Age Batgirl. I still love that PSA. Like, what a fucking sick PSA to have Batgirl call out the fact that Batman doesn't pay her an equal wage while they're strapped to a bomb. You fucking go, Batgirl. So this is BTAS Batgirl in a sense because BTAS Batgirl is based off this costume. Um, Brutaku, I love Batgirl, and okay, now I'm gonna say something that might be controversial, right? I like Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. I love Barbara Gordon as Oracle, and I think making Oracle Batgirl again actually was a disservice to her character because Killing Joke is an exploitive story, and it is a shitty story in how it treated characters that weren't Batman or Joker, and they turned Batgirl, who was in many ways a progressive character, they borderline fridged her. They turned the trauma of her being paralyzed into something that should be directed at Batman, as opposed to delving into what that did to Barbara. They turned her into a prop for Commissioner Gordon and Batman. That said, that was the launching pad to make Barbara Oracle. She starts her own superhero team, becomes more important to the Justice League, is able to stand up to Batman a lot more because she's now her own independent person. Like, Batgirl becoming Oracle turned her into an amazing character in her own right, who Batman had to treat as a peer and not as a student. And then they made her Batgirl again. And I like a lot of the new Batgirl stuff. I like a lot of her stories. But I'm always thinking about how Oracle was such a unique character for comic books and how Oracle was great representation for people who are wheelchair bound. How Oracle felt so much more interesting and dynamic in the Bat family. And they kind of took that away from Oracle, I think. Also, I might be a freak. I don't know what the popular consensus is. My favorite relationship, romantic relationship in any DC thing, is I love Nightwing and Batgirl. That's why I loved the more recent Nightwing run. Is Batgirl, Nightwing, Dick and Barbara being together? I've always loved that relationship, and it's because they are Batman's oldest allies. They're his oldest partners. But on top of that, Barbara is able to make Nightwing more independent from Batman, whereas Dick is able to give Barbara that sense of companionship that she loses by standing up to Bruce. There's this great dynamic where it's even if the rest of the Bat family turn against us, we have each other's backs, and that's what turned into their relationship. I like Dick and Barbara. I like Dick and Barbara a lot more than I like Dick and Starfire. I've never really liked Dick and Starfire. How do I get you out of this box? Okay, here. Scott, 3 Jokers revealed that Jason likes Barbara, but then nothing came of it because nothing came of 3 Jokers. It was a bad story. Yeah, no, Scott, you just remembered, yep. And it will never have a payoff because we don't even know if that shit was canon or not. Talk about a stupid fucking thing that is so easy. How did they mess up 3 Jokers? You want to know how you make 3 Jokers work? Golden Age Joker, Silver Age Joker, Modern Joker. That's all you need to do. Criminal Joker, the Joker that's like Adam West, hoo hoo ha ha ha, and then you do the one that was Killing Joke, Jason Todd Joker. But no, they felt the need to be oh, the Joker, the clown's the one who did Death in the Family, and this one, all of them are modern Jokers. They've all been in modern stories. It's what the fuck are you doing? It's so easy because the Joker is such a there are so many clear eras of Joker. There are so many points where you can say that's where this Joker ended and this Joker began. And you took the obvious thing and made it convoluted and dumb. That's what I don't get about Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is somehow both one of the best comic writers ever and one of the worst comic writers ever. What are you doing? What are you getting caught on? Is it just your cape? Just go through. Just go through. There we go. We got Batgirl out. Okay, and now we got a big batarang. We have a big batarang and a grapple gun. There we go. I like the color on the grapple gun. It's very toyetic. Barbara just landed like that. Oh, that's undignified. One sec. Get Batgirl stood up. Up and up. I will say her proportions are better than Jessica Cruz's. She has a little bit more human anatomy. The cape is always so good. I love the wired capes on Multiverse. Like, this is the reason why I say, like, in 2 years, they finally figured their shit out. They're like, hey, you want to know what people love? Wired capes. And this shit is great. This shit is so good. Let me get her stand. So my plan is I'm going to get Batman and Barbara and Nightwing together. And the cape for Batman and Barbara is going to be like this. And then Nightwing's going to just be standing beside Barbara. Barbara's going to be in the middle between them. Can I get like a good... Because I want to give her like an inherently kind of goofy Silver Age pose. So very much like Bruce, I'm going to put hands on hips, cape kind of swishing around her, and then this cape is going out. And then she's going to be looking up and over like that. I'm going to fine-tune it when we actually get to the shelf. But for now... make sure to give a little bit of... There we go. And then I'll just put Nightwing beside her and Bruce to this side. And then it'll be the original trio, the terrific trio. Wired capes are so good. I'm sorry, I do. I just love wired capes. So, let's go on to the other figure. So, this was a figure that I did not like at first. The digital Nightwing. Here, let me go up a little bit. When I first saw this figure, I was so disappointed because I was like, look at this horrible head sculpt. But then something dawned on me when I looked at the Golden Age Barbara and Bruce. They are going for stylization. They're making him look exactly like how George Perez used to draw him. And as it turns out in 3D, that just makes him look a little bit creepy. But when I realized what they were doing, this is what made me know, like, this is the Nightwing I want. I want to get this Nightwing with that Batgirl and my Golden Age Batman and my Ace the Bat Hound and my classic Joker or classic Riddler and my Superpowers Penguin. And they're going to look great together. They're going to be on a shelf by themselves. And this is the Nightwing I had to have for that collection. They did a Golden Age Dick Grayson. It's weird, because Nightwing is like my favorite hero. I never like getting toys of Dick Grayson Robin. I always want him as Nightwing, because Nightwing is when he is his own man, you know? Nightwing is when he's his own dude, doing his own things. In terms of Robins, I mean, I like getting Tim, and I like getting Damian. Everyone else who's ever been Robin, I prefer getting their own identities. Like, I prefer Duke to be Signal. I prefer Stephanie to be Batgirl or Spoiler. Oop. Brotaku, I love that storyline where you had Dick as Batman and Damian as Robin. That was a good story. Great story. One of Grant Morrison's best work, and Grant Morrison is a person that seemingly only creates great shit. Like, they are so fucking amazing. I know that apparently Grant Morrison has had a couple of clunkers here and there, but holy shit. Like, one of the best Batman runs ever, one of the best Superman stories ever. So much good shit with Grant Morrison. Yeah, Scott. So it's when it was when Bruce was supposedly dead for a bit. Dick had to take up the mantle of Batman. Oh, come on, Dick. There we go. Well, no, Scott, that was it at first. Is they thought Batman was dead. It turns out he was just sent to the past. Like, I forget what the story of Batman Rip was, but it was literally like he actually just was sent back to like the caveman days and just had to wait for modern day to come back. Weird story. Weird shit. There we go. Disco Wing. I love this original Nightwing costume. Real talk, my favorite Nightwing costume might be this costume. It's between this and his modern costume. Um, I'm not a big fan of his Nightfall look. I'm not a big fan of his new 52 look. But I love first appearance Nightwing. Such a cool superhero costume. And also, like, here's the thing: you make fun of him, but the loud colors, the popped collar, this is like anti-Batman. Batman is supposed to hide in the shadows. Nightwing is standing in the daylight. You know, he is proud of who he is. He wants you to notice him. I love the fact that in the comics, Nightwing is not ashamed of this costume. He stopped wearing it because it was impractical, but every time people bring it back up, he's like, man, I miss that costume. Hmm. Oop. Hey, Cheesemus. How's it going? Oh, you changed your PFP. You're Raphael now. Okay. There we go. Look at these dorks. So obviously young and happy. Where have the years gone? Mon Mix, my favorite Marvel villain. I don't know if Magneto counts. If Magneto doesn't count, it's hey Jay Rodimus, how's it going? I'm doing well. Um, if Magneto doesn't count, it's Craven. I've always liked Craven. Look at these two. I'm really happy with how these two came out. Just two fucking goofs. I'm so excited to get them on the shelf. With you know what? I'm gonna go get Golden Age Batman. I'm gonna show you guys why I got this. One sec. Here we go. Tell me that's not perfect. Tell me that's not perfect for like Silver Age terrific trio, Batman, Batgirl, and Nightwing. I am so happy with that. I'm sorry. I'm just like grinning. It's the first time I've ever had a Batman, a Batgirl, and a Nightwing that I'm happy with all three. Um, because there's so many. I have a few different versions of the trio, but usually it's like Batgirl can't stand up, Batman's too short, Nightwing isn't as articulate as I want. These three just look good together, and I don't have to make any excuses for them. They are stylized to go with each other. Bumbulus, it's weird because my favorite character who was Robin is Nightwing, but my favorite person as Robin is probably Tim. Because I feel like all the great stuff about Dick Grayson, most of it came after he had stopped being Robin. That's my view on it. I'm gonna change Batgirl's cape just a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it looks so good. What's my favorite X-Men story? Um, what is my favorite X-Men story? So they just did it in X-Men '97. I always liked the run where where Nightwing, where Magneto became the head of Xavier's institute, and he had to prove that he was heroic now. And he had like one of my favorite costumes ever. That like deep V, long sleeve, long glove, I should say, Magneto. That's a storyline I always liked. Um, hmm. That's the thing is like with the X Men, I can't think of many storylines. I think of moments I like. Like I enjoy when Storm kicked the shit out of Cyclops. I enjoy when Magneto like gathered up those racists and pulled out their metal teeth and started torturing them with that. Um, I like the Onslaught story. When was that? When was Onslaught? Onslaught was like 2000, I think. Yeah. Hey, Spider Dad. Ooh, anonymous guy. Aside from Barricade and Blackout, which Bayverse Decepticon would I like to see come back to the future? I want a new take on that Bone Crusher. I think that version of Bone Crusher is such a good design. Um, who else? Maybe from the Bayverse. But that seems like in the Bayverse, a lot of the Decepticons don't have much personality after that first movie. Flatline's not from the movie, is he? Flatline's from the IDW comics, I thought. I do like Nitro Zeus. That's a good call, anonymous guy. Oh, Crazilla. So in the Rainbow People video, I called them my crazy ex. That might be a bit of a ooh, Laura. I'm gonna say that Shatter doesn't count because that's not Bayverse. If that's the case, it's Shatter and Dropkick. Um, DCX Transformer. So Brutaku, did you see the IDW idea? And it was like you have Megatron holding up Superman's destroyed cape. Optimus Prime becomes a Green Lantern. Batman and Prowler working together. I would have loved that DC Transformers crossover. It probably would have been dog shit, but I would have loved it all the same because it's my two favorite things. It's my two favorite things together. Um, but okay, someone asked about my the person I talked about in the Rainbow People is the most sauceless slur I've ever heard. So to call them an X might be pushing it. I know I called them an X in that video, but really the better way to put it is they were my rebound. This was someone I was dating right after I had a really bad experience with the partner right before, and I was kind of just going with anyone who gave me the time of day. They were not even the only person I was seeing at that point. It was very casual. Um, but it was about 2020, 2021, and they had in the state where I live, they had started to really up rhetoric against specific groups. And this guy was someone who, it's weird to say this, I knew what he looked like naked, and yet I didn't really know what was going on inside his head. Again, this is bad judgment on RonBonDujon's part. And that was kind of like the first moment where it sank in that this guy was a fucking nut job. And eventually, like, it didn't end, like, dramatically. It was really just I said, you're a fucking moron, now get out of my apartment. And it's not like the guy was, like, a maniac or anything. Um, but it was very much a thing where it's like, I need to have higher standards about who I'm dating. It was an eye-opening moment. It was the first time. It was the first time I had really, like, what's what I'm looking for? It was in a period of time where I was still recovering from a very important relationship having come to an end, in the most sudden and drastic way possible. Oh, that's good, Cheesemus. I'm glad you're safe. So it was a thing where, like, I had kind of thrown caution to the wind. I had had a lot of scares during that time. And it was that. Oh, wow, this might be getting too dramatic. But it was that plus me having I had an HIV scare where I had to go and get tested, and everything was good. But it was like those two things happened so close to each other. I was like, I can't keep doing this. And, I was, 19, 20 at the time, and I was still in college. And it was just, that was when it sunk in, okay, I've been a kid up until this point. It's time to mature a little bit and actually, like, think some of this stuff through. Oh, to make spaghetti. Yeah, no, I'm doing great now. And it's not even like, it's not like things were terrible back then. But, wait, what's up, Cheesemus? Oh, we're talking about stuff that happened way in the past. Like, nothing to be scared of right now. But yeah. And that's the thing, is like, everything's worked out as well as it could. But it was something about, I really don't even know, like, why I brought that story up in the news video, aside from just in the moment while I was recording, it popped in my head, and I was like, this is a funny story. So that's why I told it. But it's not like this is something that I think of all that often. Like, it's very much like that kind of sucked, and then I moved on. Oh, what'd you get, Cheesemus? What's a Holy Grail comic? Here, I'm going to move you three over to the side just a bit. I'm still just so happy with these three. That's so good. But they need a Joker to go with them. And bah! So I found the Chase variant of this new Joker. So here's what's weird about this Joker. It's absolutely supposed to be Jack Nicholson Joker, Batman 89 Joker. And yet when you look on the back, well, that's not Jack Nicholson Joker. And you look on the side, well, that doesn't say Batman 89. And it's not coming in the boxes that all the other Michael Keaton Batman guys came in. So I looked into this. It turns out they just didn't get the likeness rights for Jack Nicholson. So they kind of had to make a Wish.com version of this dude. And, like, I got the normal Joker too. I'm really excited to open him, because even if he doesn't look exactly like Jack Nicholson, I think it looks like a really good Joker. But I had to get this Chase variant because he's going to go great with my Kenner Superpowers Penguin. So just to be clear, they made a Joker that's in, like, this purple costume. This is just the Chase. But I want this guy because he's going to go so well with these three and my blue Penguin. Like, I think this is the best possible Joker I can get for this Silver Age display I'm wanting to make. So let's open him up. I'm so excited to finally open this toy. It's a big reason as to why I did this video tonight. It's like, I want to finally open this Joker. Doop. Also, I'm sorry that I don't, like, keep the toys in the frame as I'm opening. I'm just really worried I'm going to slice my hand open if I do that. So I like to get the scissors closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. So I saw the Kenner Superpowers Mr. Freeze. I don't think they changed enough. For him, I would have wanted new sculpting. So I passed him over. So the display is going to be these three, my classic Riddler, my Superpowers Penguin, this Joker, and then the variant Kite Man. They're going to be my Silver Age Batman display. Doop. There's the Joker. Man, Joker is such a hard character for me to figure out if I like or dislike. Because here's the thing, when Joker's good, I love him. But I don't think we've had a lot of good Jokers in the past 10 years. Like, as much as I like Heath Ledger's Joker, I think Heath Ledger's Joker, and also Alan Moore, let's be fair, I kind of feel like they fucking ruined Joker in some ways. In the same way that I feel like Frank Miller kind of ruined Batman. I feel like Alan Moore and Heath Ledger ruined Joker. Because here's the thing, Joker used to be so cool entirely because he could just as easily be, like, child-friendly this week. that was the cool thing about Joker is that he was like more random and you couldn't get a handle on him. Every fucking Joker story now is we live in a society, Batman. And then it's always just going to turn into him saying like, and I did it. I lied. Like look at three Jokers. Interesting idea. And then that just turns into Joker being like, by the way, those were all just clones. I don't like Joker. Joker is like a weird, like, writer's pet, in that everyone thinks that they're like fucking writing Shakespeare with Joker, and they're all writing the same shit and stuff that people wrote when they were in friggin' high school. Coconut Man, I agree. I love Jack Nicholson Joker because he's still just a criminal. Like all the shit he does about the gimmicks, it's all bullshit. He's still just a mobster, and oh my god, this is so good. Look at this. I love this a lot. I love this a lot. He looks so good with the hat too. I like him with the hat. I like him with these colors. Like, look at this. They just pop. Like this kind of like orangey pink that goes down to like the salmon color, and then you got like the blue and the orange. This is good. I like this. Oh, he's a hard time standing up. Come on. He looks good with these guys. I really think he does. So here's my plan, right? Because you look, he comes with good stuff. He comes with a megaphone. He comes with the bang gun. He comes with like the long pistol sniper rifle. He comes with a cane. He comes with like a normal hairpiece and hands. I think Michael Keaton, when I get to the real Joker, because I got the normal Joker version too, I'm going to have him with the cane. There's a part of me that wants to give him like the displayed open hands and give him like a big like come to the carnival pose. But I also kind of want to give him the bang gun. Let me just get out the displayed open hands. Mon makes, I didn't see that rant, but I just saw that past comment. Yeah, like everything about that Mr. Freeze is so weird. And he's kind of been adopted into the Kenner Superpowers line, even though that's absolutely not what he is. Like, he's kind of, like, retroactively been put into that toy line. And it's so strange to actually look into. If there's one thing I would have liked is I would have liked a second head sculpt of this Joker who's, like, just laughing. Like, big, open mouth. Get that ab crunch going. Okay, yeah, that's not what I want to do. I'm glad I gave it a try just to see, but I think Bang Gun is definitely the way to go with this Joker. Cruzilla, I just don't know much about Lego, and I don't really follow Lego. It's no offense to Lego, it's just I'm not an active Lego collector. Ooh, okay, I'm going to want to use the other side then. Here we go. Get in there. There we go. Maybe if I gave him like a shrugging pose, would that be something that I'm into? Yeah. Okay, this is kind of coming. This is going in in a direction I like. Maybe if he was motioning towards the gun, like you don't. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, like this. Like what did you think it was going to be a real gun? Yeah, I like this pose. This is the pose I'm going with. This is the best part to me about getting a toy you like is just going through and figuring out like, okay, what pose are you going to be in for a little bit, buddy? Hmm. I didn't catch what you say, Brutaku. What'd you say? As much as nowadays GoBots gets to have TF mold, which TF character would you look good in a GoBot mold? Yes, Mon makes that's like the only good fatality in DC versus Mortal Kombat is when he does the bang gun and then does an actual gun. Um, hmm. I've never thought about that. Like, what are modern Transformers figures that would look good as GoBots? This is gonna sound weird. I think that Tarn would make a really good destroyer. Like the guy that has the tank turret for a face. I think like you'd have to resculpt him a bit, but I think that could work. Of course, get SS 86 Wheeljack, Rekgar rather, and get SS 86 Rekgar and do him a Psykill. Get that Top Gun Transformer and turn him into Leader 1. That would work. Bumblebee movie Blitzwing as Leader 1. Yeah, I can kind of see it actually, like with his skinnier proportions. Or even better, reactivate Starscream. Reactivate Starscream, remold him so the wings don't go to the back. That'd be good. Hound is Jupiter's Creepers, obviously, absolutely. Good call, Brutaku. Um, any Starscream could be Heat Seeker very easily. Gears as a more accurate Smallfoot. That's nice and simple. That would be a fun video. Is like just going through like the GoBots and figure out what are modern figures that you could use to make a new line of GoBots. I'm happy with this. This is good. This Joker's great, by the way. Like if you're just looking for like a good all-purpose Joker. Hey, Mad Prime Productions. Kato 84. I'm not familiar with that, Cheesemus. Is it Usagi? I don't remember the rabbit's name from Ninja Turtles. Yojimbo, that's his name. Yojimbo, I think. I'm just having a really. Oh, he's not from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, isn't the rabbit from like his own thing? They just do a lot of crossovers together. Hmm. I'm sorry, I'm really having fun with this guy. I want to find that one pose that's just like, this is it. Hey, Stinger Productions. You're just in time to see me constantly fiddling with this Joker. Yeah, I think that's the one. I think that's the one. Okay. All right. I got the gold label Kite Man. So I prefer the design of the normal Kite Man, but the issue is they did his visor in a way that's supposed to be reflected in the skyline, but it looks like someone scraped it with a coin. It looks really bad. So I went with this one because I think the visor looks better. And even if I don't like the head as much, it's going to look really good with these guys. So I got this version of Kite Man. Also, this Kite Man should have come with a flight stand. That's ridiculous that he only comes with a normal stand. I hate that McFarlane just like stopped selling their flight stands because they're good flight stands, and so many of these characters, like so many characters, are only in the collector edition, which are $35 figures. You can throw in a flight stand, you penny pinching bastards. Yeah, R. Brown, that's a great Joker. And this is the Chase variant. The normal version is a purple Joker. So if you like the mold but want more like typical Joker colors, that is how you'll normally find him. R. Brown, I'd say be selective. Don't go and just buy anything, but if it's a character you like and the toy looks good, usually they're pretty solid. Anonymous Guy, you've already kind of named all of them. There's not many female presenting Decepticons. I mean, like, I think Shadow Striker would be great to come back. Clobber would be fun. I don't want to start naming GoBots characters, but like Crasher, Snoop, they'd be fun. Cruzilla, I'll be honest, I don't care about Nightbird. I don't care for Nightbird. It insists upon itself, Lois. Nightbird's one of those characters that is super popular and a lot of people request her, and I don't understand the appeal. It's Nightbird, Nemesis Prime, Kranix. Like, that's the thing, like, just today someone was like, hey, Kranix is a really good character. And it's like, Kranix is a character? Yeah, Sting Productions, we're just talking about cons. Okay, stand up, Kite Man. Stand up. Stand up, Charlie. Coconut Man, I agree. A lot of those BotCon only Beast Wars characters are great. Javelin's cool. I like Javelin. Stinger Productions, no one has mentioned Nickel. Oh, WJ, I would absolutely get some of those Legends of the Dark Knight figures, like Silver Knight Batman, Egyptian Batman, and Catwoman. I would get a lot of them. The issue is I'm at a point in my life where I want to find toys in person because that makes it more interesting for me, and I just don't see those guys around. Because you can go online and get anything, but that kills so much of my enjoyment of the hobby. I want to be able to like find them in person and make it a little bit more special for myself. The backpack is really bad. Like, that's not glued in at all. That's gonna fall off. No wonder they didn't give him a flight stand. It would just get worn out eventually. Okay. I can give old Charlie Brown here a halfway decent pose. Of course, he's got to be giving us the thumbs up. Never forget, Plastic Man. in Brave and the Bold used to run with Kite Man. If it weren't for Kite Man, we wouldn't have Plastic Man. It's a weird connection. Just the idea that Il O'Brien used to run with Kite Man's gang. There we go. Oh, Mom Minx, you mean the one with Tom Kenny as Plastic Man? Yeah, that looks decent. I'm pretty happy with that. Stinger Productions, I literally just don't know enough about Flatline. Flatline is the type of character where you can say whatever you want about Flatline and no one's going to question you. You could tell me Flatline had the Matrix. I'd be like, sure, why not? Flatline probably had the Matrix at some point. You could tell me that Flatline, like, works for Unicron and is actually, like, way more evil than the Fallen. I'm like, yeah, sure, Flatline probably does that. WJ, I don't know if you know this. Ninja Turtles is a parody of Frank Miller Daredevil. Like, Ninja Turtles was made specifically to parody Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. To the point that in the original comic, the Turtles are outright stated to be Matt Murdock's pet turtles. And the sludge that blind Matt Murdock is the sludge that mutated the Ninja Turtles. All right, so we've made good progress. We have opened 1/4. I take that back. We've opened 1/6 of the DC figures that I still need to open. I don't know how many more we're going to open tonight. I'm going to do one more. To Make Spaghetti is married canonically to Flatline. Yeah, that makes sense. WJ, I guess that does mean that the Utroms hired Kingpin. I'll say this, though. I don't give a fuck about the hand, but I fucking love the foot. I love Shredder. I love the Foot Clan. I love Krang. I love Bebop and Rocksteady. They're great. But I don't give a fuck about the hand. I don't know who's in the hand. I don't care about who's in the hand. The hand is boring as shit. And I hate Elektra. At least in the Netflix show. Maybe in the comics Elektra's better. But that Daredevil show, I did not like Elektra. Also, Stick is boring. I don't like Stick. Splinter is literally better Stick. I'm just now realizing it. His name is fucking Splinter because Splinter falls off a stick. I've never realized that, but that's why his name is Splinter. Oh, that's great. That's dumb. That's dumb and great. Okay. You know what? We've talked about Three Jokers so much, clowned on it so much. I still bought a toy. I really liked Joker the Criminal. I'm the one person in the world who really liked this toy, entirely because it is the Golden Age Joker with the frown. And I got him for $5. So I'm pretty happy with it. I don't care about getting Joker the Clown. Like, I don't care about getting the half-ass Silver Age one. That's why I got this guy. He looks better. That said, I might get Joker the Comedian, because I really like how that toy looks. It's pretty good. Was there supposed to be a Powerpuff Girls DC crossover? I didn't know that. It would make sense. No! Oh, shit! Oh, Charlie! Charlie Brown! Ah, dude, I thought we stopped doing this back when you were a kid. Motherfucker falling over every time you go to cook that football. Oh. Oh, hey, Ezreal, son. Charlie Brown. Stay alive for me. He's okay, guys. Mojo Jojo and Gorilla Grodd is a really funny character duo. I just saw that. I was like, that would actually be really fucking funny to see those two specifically together. Wait, Mom Makes, was that actually the plot? Oh, see you, Brutaku. Was the plot of the Powerpuff Girls crossover supposed to be that the mayor is so enamored with the Joker being famous that he starts letting the Joker do whatever he wants? That is a great idea for a plot. I actually love that. The idea that every time the Powerpuff Girls try to stop him, the mayor says, "No, Powerpuff Girls, we have to make the Joker happy. He's bringing tourism." That is such a good idea for a crossover. Because here's the thing, right? There's so many like easy hack ways to do it, like Lex Luthor's in town, Superman and Powerpuff Girls team up. The idea of doing something so in universe, like the mayor being so dumb that he thinks the Joker brings like good press because he's famous, that is so fucking funny. I'm sad we didn't get this crossover now. Because I thought it would be something boring. I thought it would be just like, oh, Superman and the Powerpuff Girls, Wonder Woman and the Powerpuff Girls. No, that I like that more. I like this plot more if this is real. No, for real, Vanny. Like, no one in DC could possibly take on the Powerpuff Girls and win. Like, even Darkseid. Darkseid might give the Powerpuff Girls a little bit of a struggle, but not much. Like, what the fuck is Darkseid gonna do against them? I love that fan comic someone did where the Powerpuff Girls just fuck up Homelander. I like that one. That's a funny fan comic. Superman shows up thinking he's going to have to help them beat up Homelander. Thoughts on Hellboy's? Cheesimus, I'm not super familiar with Hellboy, but everything I've ever seen of Hellboy I think is cool. WJ, the anti-life equation means nothing to Element X. Okay? Like, the Powerpuff Girls are made of chemical X. What do you think the anti-life equation is going to do against that? Sugar, spice, everything nice. Professor Utonium used these ingredients to make the perfect little girls, but he accidentally released a secret compound, Chemical X. What the fuck are you going to do against that? So Aelin, I kind of just get them from everywhere. I go to a few different stores. I go to like antique malls. A couple of oh wow, Joker's a little bit. Oh no, his eyes are good. He's just looking to the side. WJ, the Powerpuff Girls pack up Doomsday. There's nothing Doomsday could do. You kidding me? Have you seen what the Powerpuff Girls fight Satan every other weekend? What is Doomsday gonna do? There's a reason that Justice League don't go to Townsville. It's because they're scared of what they'll find there. It's not like Ben 10. Ooh, my favorite Godzilla. Anonymous guy, you're just asking like what my favorite Godzilla design is, or my favorite Godzilla movie? Oh, that's cool. My favorite version of Godzilla. Okay. I like Heisei Godzilla. Like when I close my eyes and think of Godzilla, I think of Heisei Godzilla. I also really like the -1 Godzilla's design. It's very simple, but it's good. Very clean. Shin Godzilla is great. Real talk, not Godzilla 98, but specifically the animated series Godzilla. I love that design. I love the design of animated Godzilla. So Cruzilla, I actually so first of all, I love GMK. That's one of my favorite Godzilla movies. Perspectives End, I've seen a little bit of their stuff, and I've spoken to them a few times. I think they're cool. They like Beast Wars. They're a fellow Beast Wars supporter. God damn. So they made the cane way too big to go into Joker's hand. I remember this being a problem on the original version of this figure I own, but I didn't remember it being this big a problem. I got in there eventually. Having a hard time finding a pose I like with this Joker. Because, like, ideally, I'd want him to be able to hold the cane on the ground. But this, it's too short to do it with this hand, and this hand can't get a good grip on it. It's a shame because I love Jokers that come with canes. And because of the head sculpt of this Joker, I can't go, like, super theatric with him. I need him to be more kind of muted. Like, I could always do it like this, but there's nothing actually holding the cane there except friction. But that's probably as good as I'm going to get for what I want. Yeah, you see it just falls out. But if I get it just right on the shelf, that can work. There we go. All right. Cruzillo, I have a ton of plans for more Beast Wars stuff going into the year. When we get to July, I'm going to start doing weekly reviews where I'm going to do a big review for every Beast Wars toy that came out in the first year of the line. There's also going to be a lot more video essays. Of course, the artist alleys. Like the goal of this year is that every month is going to have a handful of big Beast Wars episodes. So don't you worry. Like that's absolutely going to happen. And of course, like when we get to the Thanksgiving special is going to be the many toys of Beast Wars, where I'm going to go over every Beast Wars toy ever. Not counting like Beast Wars Neo or Beast Wars 2, just American Beast Wars. Thoughts on B and D? I don't know what B and D is. I'm not familiar with that. But yeah, like don't worry, we're doing a lot of Beast Wars this year. It's gonna pick up a lot more when we get to the second half. But like, even now, it's like on Friday we're doing Mini Toys or Rat Trap. Do you remember watching any Sonic and/or Mario sprite animations in the 2000s? Yes. Was Super Mario Bros. Z? I remember that. And then Blade's video essay. Cruzilla, I've been thinking about doing a Rescue Bots video essay, but it wouldn't be like a character overview like how Cryotech was. It'd be a lot more like what Rescue Bots did to make it different. Brand New Day. Anonymous Guy, I'm definitely interested in seeing Brand New Day. I'm going to go see it with my buddy. I probably wouldn't go to see it by myself just because I don't really care about Spider-Man. but he's a big Spider-Man fan, and if he's gonna go see Supergirl and Clayface with me this year, I can at the very least go and see Spider-Man with him. Um, it looks good, looks like a fine movie. I just, I'm not trying to be mean. It's really difficult for a Marvel movie or show to be of much interest to me, just because I'm not a big fan of Marvel. And there's not a reason why I'm not a big fan. It's just, it's never been my cup of tea. I've always been a DC fan, first and foremost. I like a lot of Marvel stuff. I like a lot of Marvel stories. But, if you came to my collection room, I have a Magneto. That is the one Marvel thing I have. And then I have shelves of DC stuff. That Clayface movie looks so good. Like, just a body horror movie. I'm so excited for it. I think it's going to be great. Trailer looks so cool. So that's the thing, Priscilla. I'm not trying to be tribal about it. Do I do any gaming? I'm not a hardcore video game player, but yeah, I enjoy a video game every so often. I literally just started playing Crossworlds, Sonic Crossworlds. That was a fun racing game. Looking forward to the Lego Batman game coming out next month. Legacy of the Dark Knight. I'm so starved for an Arkham game that I'm hoping that's going to scratch the itch. I've been replaying the Arkham games recently. Replayed, You Call Me Uncharismatic. Me and my brother have been playing through Gears of War. So, Aelin, I've actually been replaying God of War with my buddy because he's never played the original PS3 games, PS2 games. So, we're playing it. God of War 1. It's a revolutionary game. It's an important game. God of War 1 fucking sucks. God of War 1, I think even by the standards of the day, fucking sucked. So many of the puzzles don't give you enough time. The gameplay gets boring. When you're in hell and you have the big columns and the blades keep knocking you down, that was bullshit. God of War 1 fucking sucks as a game. And as a story. I don't like the story. God of War 2 is fucking great. Holy shit, God of War 2, talk about a fucking step up. Talk about a fucking legendary game. I feel the same way about God of War 2 that I feel about Sonic 2. In that, the first game's important, and the first game was popular and successful, but God of War 1 and Sonic 1 suck. They suck so fucking hard. And even for the time, they suck. But God of War 2, holy shit, what a good game. Good story, great characters, good boss fights, great level design, great ideas. So now we're going to go and play God of War 3. And so my buddy, he's only ever played PS4 God of War and then Ragnarok. So that's his idea of God of War and Kratos and the gameplay. And I watched him play that. We played those games together, and I would tell him, oh yeah, these games are really cool if you played the original trilogy and you see how much Kratos used to fucking suck. How much Kratos was a fucking monster. And how all the people around him were monsters. No one was good. Everyone was sucky, and we had to kill them all. And he didn't believe me. He thought I was making up shit about the first 3 games. And then we went and played it, and it turns out I was actually not remembering things and how bad they got. The sex mini games and Kratos just randomly killing civilians in cutscenes. Kratos fucking ripping off Helios's head, ripping off fucking Hermes' leg and beating him to death. Killing, I know in the game they say it's Icarus. There's no way that old man with wings that you fucking fight is Icarus. That has to be Daedalus, right? It's Icarus's dad, surely. Duck Boy, it's probably just gonna be the main 3, mostly because I don't own Ascension. And I know Ascension apparently is a really good game. But it's also unless you're really into God of War, I just don't think Ascension story is all that important. Aelin, I get that. It fucking, is so shitty when it's oh, this thing I really love only ever had, 1 line of toys, and they're all super expensive. It's how I feel about Mass Effect. Because Mass Effect only ever got the Big Fish games for Mass Effect 2. And it sucked. Like the toys were okay, but they were all super fragile. And it was only Mass Effect 2, so they're like no Liara, no Ashley, no Caden, no Rex, none of the people you play as in Mass Effect 1 or 3. It's only the Mass Effect 2 crew, and not even all of them, because they didn't do any of the DLC guys. I don't think they ever did Jacob. I think they did Shepard and Miranda, Garrus, and did they even do Grunt? I, honest to God, don't know if they did Grunt. Oh, to make spaghetti, Garrus. Garrus is my favorite Mass Effect character. He's my favorite romance option. He is one of my favorite characters in any video game ever. Garrus was probably part of my gay awakening. Like, I played as Femshep, and I remember, like, getting so attached to the idea of Femshep and Garrus's relationship. That was, like, my first moment of, like, being like, oh, I like this. This is nice. I don't think I've ever played Mass Effect as Guy Shep. I think because I've played the trilogy and all the DLC with the trilogy like 4 or 5 times in my life. I think I've always been Femshep. Um, and I've done other like romance. I say that I did one other romance. I did Caden. So fucking boring. Fucking Garrus, dude, is where it's fucking at. His voice and just everything. I love Garrus. I love Garrus so much. I love his arc. I love the arc of Garrus Vicarian. I used to have a toy of Garrus. I got the big fish version of him. And I wound up selling it because I just knew it was a ticking time bomb. But like I just want a good action figure of Garrus and the other Mass Effect characters. That's all I want. I'm like just going about this. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like this whole stream has just been like me like playing with toys without talking or going on random ass like diatribes. My bad. Um that's what these streams are, I guess. Spider Dad, I've never personally played Little Big Planet. My little sister played it a lot and I would watch her play it. Super cute game. I like it a lot. I would love to play it myself, but I've just never like sat down to do it. There's a lot of games like that where it's like I've never played them, but because I like watched my friend or my sisters play them and I like think that I've played them. Fucking the Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotai? Those games. Like I watched my buddy play them and it's like those are super cool games. But that's kind of like scratch the itch. I feel like I don't have to play them because I've seen them, and it's like even if a game is really good, a game will never be as fun. A game will never be as fun by yourself. Well, that's the weird thing is like I've had more fun being in the same room as my friend as he played video games, and we just like enjoyed each other's company than I've ever had just playing a game by myself. How would I rewrite the FNAF movies? Well, for one thing, if I was going to make William Afton a twist villain, I would have more scenes of him. I would have scenes where like he is menacing the animatronics, maybe keep him in shadow to still keep the reveal, but like make it clear that there is a threat inside the pizzeria. I like the idea of having Abby and Mike. That's a good emotional core. Maybe just like flesh them out a little bit more, clean up the dialogue, make it a little bit less tacky. And then like also put a greater emphasis on the idea that the animatronics are children and they are acting this way because they are being forced to. They're being compelled to. Like I know this might sound like hokey, but like I think that it would have been really fucked up and explained a lot if like when the yellow rabbit showed up, if he like raised his hand and you saw the animatronics flinch. You get the indication of he has hit them so often that literally just when there is a sudden movement, their first thought is, I'm about to be hit. Like I'd go that direction. Like if we're going to get into the realm of dead kids and ghosts, like Why not go all the way into William Afton has abused them so continuously and so completely that they are naturally distrustful. Also, maybe lean into that. Explain that like the animatronics love Abby, but they don't trust adults because they're scared of the one adult in their life. Well, that's the thing, WJ, is like realistically the animatronics wouldn't feel anything. So I think like if you're going to have this idea that William Afton is like controlling them, it has to be psychological. Like maybe he could have like a defibrillator, and that's how he's hurting them because we know like the taser short circuits them. What if like he just carried around a defibrillator and just every so often if you're acting up, he just hits you with that. And it's like it burns your costume, it makes you like shut off completely, ruins your internal wiring. Like that's maybe that's what happened to Foxy. Maybe the reason Foxy is messed up is because he got hit with the defibrillator last. I don't know, I'm spitballing here. Well, that's the thing is like I think Five Nights at Freddy's so desperately wants to have like the tragedy of like these young kids, and yet they're scared to actually go into like the realities of this. And also, like I think Scott Cawthon just can't write a goddamn story. I think Scott Cawthon made some great games and some interesting characters, and then fucking prayed to God that everything people heard Matt Pat say is what they thought he actually meant. Like I am very much of the opinion there is not a story to Five Nights at Freddy's until Matt Pat started making videos, and then Scott Cawthon pretended that there had been a story the entire time. I am very much of that opinion. And that's no hate to Matt Pat. Matt Pat made that fucking bank. And you know, say what you will about Matt Pat. Matt Pat's never fucking abused anyone or, you know, diddled any kids. So good for Matt Pat. uh, but yeah. Like, I still like Five Nights at Freddy's. Don't take this as me, like, trying to shit on Five Nights, but it's like, I like Five Nights at Freddy's the same way I have to like a lot of things that are objectively kind of bad. But the games are great. To make spaghetti, that's how my apartment is. I had to buy my own appliances. It was either that or it's like, I hope you're happy to go hang out at the laundromat for like 3 hours. I don't remember that one, W. Was it just a thing where he's like, Scott Cawthon will be here? And it's like he showed a tweet or something? Anonymous guy, Scott will never leave that writing room. Every year, if they're, hey, Harold, how's it going? Every year, if there's anything that people don't like, you have Scott constantly like, well, I'm going to retire. It's the same thing where like a kid that's like, well, I'm going to stop breathing until you give me my thing. That I still remember when people found out that he was donating to hate groups, and he's like, guys, I'm retiring. Like he hijacked the narrative and was like, I'm retiring, and everyone was like, goodbye, Scott Cawthon. And then his ass is still around ruining the goddamn games. Like, everyone blames Steel Wool. I don't blame Steel Wool. I blame the fact that they still have to listen to this asshole and his random ideas that he cooks up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay. WJ, I see what you mean. That is kind of scummy, but that's the kind of goofy scummy where it's like, I don't think there's any maliciousness there. I think that was very much we're doing a jokey joke. I don't know, like absolutely that's annoying, but if that's so Spider Dad, I was about to say what's the difference, but no, like he was like funding people who were doing like conversion camps and shit. Like that's a hate group. I don't know if that's like if people are gonna get mad at me for saying that, but no, like conversion therapy, conversion camps, that those are hate groups. Like that's bullshit, and he was bankrolling that. So yeah. That's my opinion. Everyone has opinions. Everyone has assholes. If you don't like mine, that's fine. But admittedly, it was a lot harder to like FNAF as soon as that shit came out. And then he was like, I'm retiring. Scott Lucas, George Hawthorne. say what you will about George Lucas. So, I just want you guys to know, yeah, Spider Dad, and you're right. That's why I stopped myself from making the joke. But like, it wasn't just he was donating to like a political person. He was donating to groups that were doing bad things, in my opinion. Um, but say what you will about George Lucas, right? George Lucas would have the easiest goddamn grift in the world. All he has to do is go on podcasts and say, "Look at how Disney ruined everything." You know, when I was making Star Wars, we made it like how I wanted it, and we didn't have any type of political agenda. And he's never fucking done that. That man got his fucking money and has shut the fuck up for the rest of his life. I have so much respect for that. And also, he donated a shit ton of that money to charity, which is pretty fucking sick. Um, and WJ, I know he has Disney stock, but what I'm saying is, like, you look at so many, like, comic book writers who, like, eventually, like, they just can't do the job anymore. And what do? They go and they start up the grift. Same thing with a lot of video game developers. They start up the grift. George Lucas, with all of his little fucking fanboys, like Star Wars Theory. Are you gonna tell me Star Wars Theory wouldn't, like, immediately fucking come in his pants if George Lucas was like, I'm gonna come on stream and we're gonna talk about how much I hate Rian Johnson? And that's the thing, is people would pay him so much money to do that, and he doesn't. And from what I understand, there's like no stories about George Lucas. There's some shit about George Lucas that is fucking vile, but nothing like Epstein level. I'm looking specifically at like the fucking Princess Leia gold bikini. And it's like, I know where that came from, George. That came from you're having a real messy divorce and want to feel young again. Like there is shit to talk about with George Lucas, but at the same time, I can respect the fact that he has never tried to hide away from certain things, and has also like had the class and the dignity to duck out. He's made his money. He's changed history. Is it a good idea to create a Patreon as 25 cents? Harold, are you trying to do a Patreon in order for someone to give you a quarter? I'm going to say, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, that might actually be a good idea. Have a 1 penny tier. I'm actually convinced a lot of people would probably sign up for that if you, like, for the bit. If you're like, here's the 1 penny tier, here's the 10-cent tier, and here's the gold tier, the 25-cent tier. That'd be really funny, actually. Yeah, I'm into that. I should start up a 1 penny tier. Why not? What do you get if you have the 1 penny tier? Hey, devastating issue. I'm trying to think, like, what's the 1 penny tier for RonBonDujon? No, that's the thing to make spaghetti. Like, the 1 penny tier, you would probably be spending like $3 just on the credit card fees. It'd be like the least value for money possible. Okay. We've been going for a bit. I think we can do one more. Coconut Man, I'm going to say that for the 1 penny, 1 penny Discord's diabolical. That's evil. I'm going to say that for 1 penny, I'm going to send you an email. And it'll just be like a thanks for the penny. Like, it's not going to be like it's going to be a copy and paste message. The 1 penny Discord just lets banned users in. It's like if I kick you out of the normal Discord, you go to the 1 penny Discord. It just becomes the most vile thing ever. That's kind of funny. I don't want to do it, but that's kind of funny. All right. Let's open one final figure. So I know Frank Herbert says that Star Wars stole shit from Dune, and Star Wars did steal some shit from Dune, but like the stories are incredibly different. Like the most that Star Wars stole from Dune that isn't like just normal fantasy shit is the word spice. And even then, spice in Star Wars is drugs, whereas spice in Dune is fuel. Like even that doesn't line up. I think the funniest thing about the feud though is that famously, you have oh my god, what's his name? Why am I blanking on his name? The guy who made fuck. He made Blue Velvet. He made Twin Peaks. Why am I forgetting this motherfucker's name? He's one of the best directors of all time. Um, his name is not fucking Zach Elliott. I don't know who the fuck Zach Elliott is. Who is this motherfucker who made Twin Peaks? It's it is not Herman Cain. I need someone to help me right now. Who made Twin Peaks? What's the name of that? He passed away recently. Yeah, he was on the Cleveland Show as the bartender. What's his fucking name? David Lynch. Oh, thank you. Oh, fuck me. Fuck me. Completely blanked on that fucking name. I love him. I don't know what that was. I don't know if I just had like a stroke or what, but yeah, no, completely lost the name David Lynch. So David Lynch, this is a super funny story. There's a YouTube video where he talks about this. WJ, you know where I'm going with this. David Lynch directed 84 Dune that came out in 1984. And that movie has a lot of problems. It's still interesting. But like it's one of those movies where like a lot of Dune fans didn't like it because it was like the only adaptation of Dune for so long. But David Lynch got that job only after he turned down another job because George Lucas had approached him to direct Return of the Jedi. Like episode 6 was supposed to be, if George Lucas had his way, directed by David Lynch. Because say what you will about George Lucas, I think he's kind of a shitty director. But my God, the guy has a great fucking eye for talent. He can see people who can do great things. And he approached David Lynch and was like, you are well, actually, he was like, you are incredible. I really enjoyed seeing your fetus baby rotting on screen. I liked Eraserhead. And I would very much like you to come and make this movie. We're trying to sell some toys. And I got this idea for a little group of teddy bears called Ewoks, and I thought that you could do it. And David Lynch talks about how he's in a diner, he's hearing this pitch from George Lucas, it's like, here's the plot, here's why I want you to direct it. And then David Lynch had like what can only be described as a fucking panic attack from the sheer like fucking visual overload that was George Lucas explaining Return of the Jedi to him. So David Lynch went into the bathroom and just started vomiting out of stress. And he's like, I was talking to George, and he said that I would be making a movie of Ewoks and a Wookiee. And I went into the bathroom, and I started vomiting. And it kept coming out. And it would come and splash the water, and the toilet water would come up in my face. The toilet water was in my eyes, and I just kept vomiting. And the entire time, all I could think is, what the fuck is a Wookiee? What the fuck is a Wookiee? And then I hear George knocking on the door, and he asks if I'm okay. And I said, no, George. No, I'm not. That's why David Lynch didn't direct Return of the Jedi. Also, I saw someone say Return of the Jedi was supposed to be a lot darker. Yes, it was, but not at that point. Harold, are you 75 years... Harold, I am not actually 75 years old. I thought it'd be really funny. I was like, what's an obviously fake age that I can say I'm turning? And I said, oh, fuck it. I'm in my 70s. That To make spaghetti is actually right. I'm actually in my 90s. I'm a lot older. I actually served in World War II. You would not believe the shit that was going on in Australia during World War II. But it's one of my fucking favorite stories ever. Just George Lucas making David Lynch fucking vomit out of stress. Talking about fucking Wookiees and Ewoks. But yes, Return of the Jedi was supposed to be a lot darker. It was going to be called Revenge of the Jedi. And there was no Leia. Leia was not going to be Luke's sister. Leia was going to just be, as Leia always had been, she's leading the rebellion. The idea was about halfway through the movie, Han Solo would fucking die. And then the Battle of Endor would be a wash. They would destroy the Death Star, but most of the rebels are dead. And the Emperor has escaped. And that was going to set up the next trilogy. It was going to turn into a thing where like the Emperor was like going to go to smaller planets and gather like some remaining stormtrooper garrisons to try to take the Empire back over. And Luke was going to be hunting him down. And it was going to be in the first movie of this new trilogy that he was going to actually find his new sister. That's the sister that Yoda talked about in episode 5. So that was the idea, is that like the end of Return of the Jedi, they were going to take like a few years off and they were going to go straight into the new trilogy. And it was going to be Luke and his sister. Luke is training his sister to go up against the Emperor and his new Imperial army. And they were going to be a lot smaller, a lot less Imperials, but because of that, they were going to be more evil and they were going to be more willing to endanger people. And it was going to be, if the first trilogy was a samurai movie, this was going to be a Western. But very early into the production of Empire Strikes Back, George Lucas was like, I don't want to fucking do this. It's so fucking hot. It's so hot. I don't want to be under these fucking lights anymore. So he, I forget the guy's name, but he had a teacher of his direct Empire, which is why Empire is the best looking fucking Star Wars movie, is they just got a really good director in there. And the producer, was his name Gary Kurtz? The producer was way more involved with Empire, which is probably why Empire is also like the best, one of the best Star Wars movies. Is it, out of all the Star Wars movies, it had the least involvement from George Lucas until you get to Disney. So out of the first 6, this one had the least involvement from George, which is probably why Empire's the best. And George just started like, he was having a bad divorce, and the Star Wars toys were selling so fucking well. And he's like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to fucking do this. So he just said, fuck it. We're going to end it with Return. We're going to kill the Emperor. Leia is Luke's sister. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Just end the goddamn movies. And then in the 2000s, he did the prequels. I saw someone ask, what's with the Santa hat with Galvatron? So, I don't like Galvatron. The simple answer is, Galvatron's not like my favorite character. The PFP of Galvatron was a gift from Zamizam. And it was a great gift. I was very appreciative of it. But it's like, I have this PFP, and most people think of me as having the Galvatron PFP, but I don't like Galvatron. And I don't like the idea that the face of my channel is a copyrighted character owned by a multi-billion-dollar company. And it's like, I have no control of like what the public perception of Galvatron is. So I really want to change it. I want to change my PFP eventually. I've been talking to Zamizam about some ideas. But in the time being, the Christmas hat was another gift from Zammy. And I was just going to use it for December. But as time went on, I was like, this is something that Hasbro's not producing. They're never going to make a toy or a comic book of Galvatron wearing a Santa hat with little antlers. And it's a tiny thing, but it's a tiny thing where it's like, I can look at that and it's like, okay, that's not Galvatron. That's RonBonDujon's PFP. Because it's a version of Galvatron that's not actually real. Whereas Zamizam's normal Galvatron is beautiful and looks amazing. But it is very clearly just Galvatron. I've talked to Zammy. I thought about making a PFP that was like a cartoon version of myself. Didn't like that. I don't like how that is. An idea that I've been kicking around is like, I want Scrapper, but I want Scrapper to like be wearing a Shadow hoodie, or for Scrapper to like wear a Captain Cold parka. Because it's also a thing where it's like, I want to start doing more DC stuff and Sonic stuff on the channel. And even if I don't do a lot of it, at least if it's like Scrapper in like a fucking Captain Cold hoodie or a Shadow hoodie, that's not Transformers now. That is something where it's like RonBonDujon, that is their PFP. That's not something that I can go to Target and buy. Harold, Dune 2016 is great. I like that a lot. Cruisilla, there was a time where someone was going to make me a PFP of 2007 movie Cliffjumper, and it just never came to be. Hey, Spider Dad. But yeah. Yeah, and WJ, I'm not trying to hate on Galvatron. It's just when I think of my favorites, Galvatron's not up there. I don't have like much personal affinity for Galvatron. What? How did we get on the subject of David Lynch? I remembered his name that time. I'm learning. Dune. No, you know what it is? We were comparing Scott Cawthon to George Lucas, and then I started talking about like George Lucas being more chill than he has to be, and then that turned into me talking about him freaking out David Lynch. By the way, here's the last figure we're opening. I got Cassandra Cain. So I love Barbara. I love Oracle, but Cassandra is my favorite Batgirl as Batgirl. I think she's the coolest one. I love Cassandra Cain. I love everything about the character. I love the fact that she is Bruce's chosen successor. Like before No Man's Land, which by the way, this is something I fucking hate about No Man's Land is how they ruined Cassandra as a character, made her like evil. Um, I love the idea that Cassandra Cain is very similar to Bruce, the most similar out of any of the Bat family in terms of mindset. And because of that, Bruce sees the fact that out of all of them, Cassandra's the one who would continue the mission and continue the war. Um, I love Cassandra. Cassandra gets no fucking love. Like, DC removed her from the continuity for like fucking 20 years. And they still. Like, the new Batgirls run was great. They're doing stuff with Cassandra again. But for a little bit, they were like jobbing her out, which is fucking dumb because she's supposed to be the best member of the Bat family in hand-to-hand combat. Don't even get me started on the fact that fucking Thomas Wayne beat the entire Bat family at once. What dog shit. I hated that story. Like, I really liked... Yeah, WJ. Azrael is another great character that just got ruined by writers as time went on. Real talk, this is the reason why I like Wayne Family Adventures. It's the first time in a long time where it felt like all these characters are in character, and it's not just everyone having to suffer so that Bruce can be brooding. Like, that's my issue with the Bat Family, is so much of it is just, let's hurt this character to hurt Bruce. And then they don't get to, like, have their own resolution. Like what they did with Barbara. They fucking paralyzed her, and that was just to give more drama to Bruce. They were more concerned about how that affected Bruce than how it affected fucking Barbara. But yeah. Spidey got it worse. WJ, I totally believe you. But yeah, I really like Wayne Family Adventures. Entirely because, like, wow, they're actually acting like they like each other. Crazy. Who would have guessed that it's fun to see the good guys getting along? Who would have guessed that, like, readers enjoy it when the characters they like can sit in a room together and not want to fucking kill each other? Devastating issue. Jason Todd is so sad to me on so many levels. I was talking to Quacky Wacky about this. Ever since Red Hood, everyone's retconned Jason into being the angry Robin. But when you actually go back and read Jason, it's even sadder. The idea that he was the person who loved being Robin the most. Like, he was a kid from a bad situation. Bruce took him in, and he was so filled with joy and hope and optimism. And then the reason Joker was able to get him into that warehouse, everyone assumes because of the Under the Red Hood movie, that Jason just went there because he was like going against Batman's orders. He went there because Joker said, I have your mom. And he actually did have Jason's mom. And then Jason let Joker beat Jason to near death so that he would give her drugs. Like, Jason, who has so much optimism and hope and trust that people can change for the better, he has to watch as his own mother sells him out for a hit. And then Joker beats him to death. And Jason's final moments before death is he tried to cover the bomb with his own body. Even after all of that, he wanted to save his mom. Like, how fucking sad is that? How horribly fucking sad
the idea that Jason, after being betrayed, would still give up his own life to try to save the life of a woman who he's only just met and was willing to betray him because it's his mom. And then, like, there's people who have tried to, like, most people who bring up the Jason Todd story, they never bring up his mom because that makes things too complicated and you're not supposed to feel that bad for Jason. But think about this. If Jason and Bruce ever fucking sat down and Bruce were to be like, "Why'd you go against my orders that night? You got yourself killed." Jason could easily point out, "Bruce, are you going to tell me that if you found out your mom was alive and wanted to see you again, you wouldn't go and try to reconnect to her?" Like, that's the tragedy about Jason. Bruce is also a mama's boy. Like, out of every member of the Bat family, Bruce should be the one who understands that Jason didn't do this because he was disrespectful or because he was edgy. He did this because, holy shit, my mom might be alive and wants to reconnect to me. Insane. Insane. Like, that's the story you should be telling with Jason, not this horse shit that, like, "Oh, he was the angry Robin. He's the Robin that went too far." That's so fucking dumb and bad. It's way more tragic to think that even if even if Red Hood is killing people, even if Red Hood is going too far, Jason was not that when he was Robin. When Jason was Robin, he was the only optimistic, hopeful person in Gotham. Because Dick fucking left, Barbara was on bad terms with Batman, Commissioner Gordon was injured, Alfred is getting burnt out, and Batman's becoming darker. Jason was the only member of the Bat family that was still optimistic by the time he died. But yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Dad, I'm glad that your cat enjoys hearing me fucking rant and ramble about characters that people don't care about. I think that Frank Miller is an interesting writer in that he has saved Batman. He has also fucking ruined Batman in so many ways. Because ever since Frank Miller, everyone feels that Batman is this fucking he's fucked up and he's dangerous, and he doesn't like the Bat family. They're all holding him back. It's like, fuck you. Batman is so fucking powerful as a character because he had the worst shit possible happen to him, and yet he does what he does not because it's what a revenge fantasy. He does it because he doesn't want someone else to ever feel that pain. So I see someone asking me like, "Oh, how do I feel about Bruce as a parent?" Bruce used to be a great parent. Fucking Silver Age Batman, the Batman who like had the cowl down, and him and Alfred were talking about Dick's report card. And there's still glimpses of good dad Batman every so often. Again, fucking Wayne Family Adventures, a fucking godsend. Batman the Animated Series, The Batman. Holy shit, The Batman, the 2004 cartoon, that's a great dad Batman. He so clearly cares for Barbara and Dick and is a supportive mentor to both in his own way. But so many fucking writers just want to focus on the idea of like Batman the loner. Batman is so fucked up. He's always on the edge. I love Under the Red Hood. I think Under the Red Hood is the best Batman movie ever. It's also a movie that gets Batman wrong. Like, there's the part where Red Hood says, "Why not kill Joker?" And Batman answers back, "Because it's too damn easy." That's not the reason Batman doesn't kill people. You want to know the reason Batman doesn't kill people? It's because Batman, on a psychological level, cannot comprehend the idea of killing someone. I know that sounds weird and like I'm trying to like infantilize him. No. If you were to put Batman in a room with someone and say you have to stop them, Batman's mind would never go to, "I need to kill him." That's the reason Batman has the no kill rule. It's not because it's too easy. It's not because he's walking the line. It's because Batman is emotionally stunted to the point that, I say emotionally stunted like it's a bad thing, but he still has a very childlike view on the world. Batman, in so many ways, is still the 8-year-old boy in Crime Alley. And that 8-year-old boy who has just watched both of his parents get gunned down over the money in their wallets, he cannot comprehend why would you ever kill another human being? Why would you ever take someone's life? That's why Batman doesn't kill, is he is emotionally stunted in that way. Also, just to point this out, everyone thinks the Justice League has a no-kill rule. No one else in the goddamn Justice League has a no-kill rule. Superman, killing is on the table. Wonder Woman, killing is on the table. Aquaman, killing is on the table. Green Lantern, Flash, okay, not Flash, but everyone else, killing is on the table. The only two people in the Justice League with a no-kill rule are fucking Batman and Flash. And with Flash, it's because Flash lives like the most charmed life of any superhero ever. Flash has a no-kill rule, devastating issue, but at the same time, all of Flash's villains are very redeemable, and most of them don't want to kill people either. Like, you gotta remember, Flash's villains, for the most part, also have a no-kill rule. Like, the Rogues have a no-kill rule. Granted, he has, like, Reverse Flash and Gorilla Grodd. No-kill rule does not apply to them. Gorilla Grodd will kill you. Reverse Flash will kill you. But for the most part, all of his villains, because in that city you have to work with or for the Rogues, you have to follow Captain Cold's rules. And because Captain Cold has the no-kill rule, everyone has to have the no-kill rule, or the Rogues will be coming after you. Like, that's how it plays out in The Flash. Yeah, Coconut Man, specifically Captain Cold and Barry. Like, they are really... Yeah, no, Thomas Spellborn, to be clear, I was not saying that, like, Superman is just going to go straight to killing people. But, like, as I say, killing is on the table. If there's no other option, killing is on the table with Superman. Wonder Woman, same thing. Aquaman, same thing. I'm not saying that the Justice League are out here fucking killing people every day. I'm just saying a lot of people have this idea that, like, Superman, the Boy Scout, Wonder Woman, the Boy Scout. The Boy Scout in the Justice League is Batman. Batman's the one who follows all the rules and thinks that they have to, like, maintain societal norms and refuses to kill. Batman's, like, the most rule-abiding out of all of them, which is really weird because he's also the loner in the group. He's the loner and also the one who wants to keep the minutes from the last meeting. And then I saw someone ask me, how do I feel about Eggman and his new relationship with Sage? I think that's really interesting, what they're doing with Eggman. I don't think he's remorseful. I think Eggman and Sage are both actually, like, still firmly on the side of evil and conquest. But I think Sage is the first time Eggman's ever actually cared for someone else. Because, like, up until that, like, the closest thing he had to a kid was Metal Sonic. Even then, he's willing to completely rewrite Metal Sonic's personality. Metal Sonic is still a creation, a product. Sage is his child. I think in some ways, you see it in the IDW comics, it's made Eggman more dangerous. Because for the first time ever, Eggman actually has something to lose. Most of the time, like, if Eggman gets hurt, it doesn't really matter, but, like, there have been a few times in the comics where he is legitimately worried that Sage is about to be hurt or lost, and that's when he fucking flies off the handle. Like, I think it's a very interesting thing where it's like, because Eggman now has a loved one, he has become, like, even more unpredictable, because he also has to consider how to protect that loved one now. I really enjoy it, though. I don't think it takes anything away from Eggman's character. I think it only adds to. Because it gives so many new story potential for Eggman. And also, Sage is a great character, and they have a great dynamic. And then I saw someone ask, who's the actual leader of the Justice League? So the Justice League officially doesn't have a leader. Everyone has a vote. It's a democracy. That said, it's Superman. The Justice League does what Superman thinks is best, because more often than not, Superman's fucking right. It's a thing where, like, if you were to ask the official opinion of the Justice League, they would say it's a democracy. Behind closed doors, they would all say Superman, except for Superman. Superman would probably say Batman. Because that's a whole other thing, is that Superman and Batman, when they're written right, have this beautiful, wholesome friendship. There's a great comic where you see Superman talking to Lois and Batman talking to Catwoman, and they're talking about each other. Like Batman's telling Catwoman about his relationship with Superman, Superman's telling Lois about his relationship with Batman, and oh my fucking god, it is so fucking beautiful. In that they are both saying, like, by the way, this is the single strongest, bravest, smartest person I know. Like it's so clear that Clark and Bruce are so close. Like they're brothers. They are brothers. They are the world's finest. And Wonder Woman's in there too. Wonder Woman is the completion of the Trinity. They are the world's greatest heroes, the three of them together. I saw someone say that Clark would give Diana control. I could see that. You know what I think it is? I think in Clark's mind, Diana leads them when they're in the field, and Bruce leads them when they're on the watchtower. I think he sees Bruce as being the best when it comes to like the administrative role, and Wonder Woman's like the general, I think. Um, I also saw someone ask, does Martian Manhunter kill? Fuck yes, he does. Very rarely. He doesn't want to do it because he sees the beauty in all things, but like if he has to do it, there is nothing stopping him. WJ, I agree with you. I don't think there's anything wrong. You know, like Clark and Lois Lane. I know New 52 changed things, but like Clark and Lois, for the most part, have been married happily for like fucking 40 years. Why can't the status quo just be that Batman and Catwoman are in love and are married and maybe they have like falling outs? Because that's the thing is like, when's the last time Catwoman's been an outright antagonist to Batman? That wasn't like, I know in absolute Batman, they're kind of hinting that Catwoman might be an antagonist. But for the most part, they always write these two to be on good terms. Would there really be that big a status quo change to just officially make Catwoman a part of the Bat family? I don't think so. It'd be something different and interesting. And then if you need another character like that who's like the ally that we don't know if we can trust or not, fucking Riddler and Harley Quinn are both right fucking there. Like those can be the two allies that we're never sure about. They're way better in that role. Because like there's never any question that Selina's gonna have Bruce's back. Whereas there is a question if fucking Riddler and Harley are going to like stay on the straight and narrow this time. Specifically Riddler. I want Riddler to be the fucking reluctant ally again. Devastating issue. One of the that's my cat. They're trying to break into the room right now, but I don't like them coming in here when I can't pay attention to them because there's so many things that I'm worried could potentially fall on them. Yeah, no, that's my cat. They're trying to get in. That's the thing is I usually let them in here if I can focus on them, but if I'm doing something like this, I'm always worried that they might have stuff that could fall on them, hurt them. I'm sorry about that to make spaghetti. That fucking sucks. I can hear him. That's Bo. I'll tell you what he's doing. He's gone down to the landing, halfway down my staircase, and he's meowing up because he's figured out that the hallway gives him an echo. I should do a cat stream. So Thomas Spellborn, I've heard that. And then I know like they want to do a little bit of like they want Damian and Batman. So Bo is the orange one. Sienna is the black one of my cats. Sienna's a tortoiseshell cat, and then Bo's an orange tomcat. By the way, I've not talked about this figure. Great figure, really good toy of Cassandra Cain. I like this a lot. I'm going to put her right next to Stephanie Brown on the shelf. Stephanie's also holding the grapple gun like this, so I'm going to have them standing like back to back, like they're both doing the grapple gun at the same time. Put the cat on the table to knock over all the characters. It's funny. Usually they go straight to the shelves. I have a shelf that's kind of half full, and they always go to that and hop up, and it usually has some stuff fall over. Yeah, no, fucking Cassandra Cain has a really great design. Like I love it a lot. Look at this. She does not go with any of these guys. She kind of goes with Joker the criminal. But like these fucking like imagine like the beautiful Silver Age Bat family where everything's hunky dory and goofy, and then Cassandra Cain shows up. That's great. That's what I want. Is I want them to keep doing the Batman 66 comics and just have Cassandra Cain show up, and it's just normal ass Cassandra. Why not? Has Batman 66 done their own version of Ra's al Ghul? I know they've introduced characters like Two-Face and like characters that weren't around for the Batman 66 TV show. Oh, so the figure right here, this is Cassandra Cain. This is Batgirl. So WJ, they did so that animated movie is based off one of the storylines from the Batman 66 comic book. Like they've done a comic book continuation of the show, the same way they did for Michael Keaton Batman and Christopher Reeve Superman. And it was called Batman 66. I don't know if it's still ongoing or not. I assume it's probably not anymore. But it went for several years. But alright. I think we're going to call it here. We've been going for over 2 hours. And my cats clearly need some attention and some love. But thank you guys all for watching. This has been a great stream. It has been... I get that, Cruzilla. I'm always going to have a soft spot for, like, goofy-ass Silver Age Joker, though. But yeah, no, this has been super fun. I enjoyed talking to everybody. I'm hoping that we can do another stream again very soon. It looks like I'm going to have a pretty open schedule, so hopefully, maybe within the next week or so. But thank you all for stopping in. It's been an absolute ton of fun. We're going to open more DC figures the next time we do this. And yeah, I guess we're just going to have to see what we get up to next time.